back to another video. As you may have seen in the last video at the high tone open day, I was getting a lot of noise from this front caliper, so I've taken it all apart, and what I think it is just rust and old brake dust that's broken away from the actual disc, because the discs feel really nice now. A little bit of rust here, but that's where the discs actually sit, and there was a big groove in this disc, so that's all come out now. You can see where the groove was. It's completely flat, so I think it was just dirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a really good clean with some brake cleaning fluid, clean the caliper up a little bit, have a good wipe round and a clean. But what I did notice while I was under here, the actual steering rack gaiter is split. See that there? So God knows why that's happened, because it's not. I suppose it's 7 years old, this gaiter. I don't think it would last a little bit longer, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop a little bit of super glue in that and glue that back together, and then in winter I'll strip all this rack down and I'll replace all the gaiters, etc. Seems like it needs a bit of a clean up anyway, a bit of dirt on there. These are all polybushed as well. It's all was all brand new, so I can't understand why they would have split. I suppose lucky use, it all dries out. Yeah, so I'm going to drop a little bit of super glue in that and glue that together, and hopefully that'll hold at least for this summer. And I've also taken the AAC valve off. I'm going to see if I can clean all that up, double check the AAC actual solenoid, make sure that's working, so I'll do a test on that and try and adjust the idle. So I'll get that on the bench and we'll have a look at that now. So I've got the actual idle control valve on the bench here, and I've swapped the AAC valve here with another one out of my parts box. That's the original one which I put onto this other old valve just to keep safe. I've got another one here as well, but that's a different plug on that. I could probably make it work at some point if this one actually failed, but I managed to find another one which I put on. I've also showing how I tested it. Got a couple of wires and a couple of little plugs there, and basically I'm just going to put it onto the battery, positive and neg of course, and then I'll show you actuating. It's just 12 volt, it was just for the 12 volt, so that's working perfect. Give it a really good clean out with some brake parts cleaner, and then a bit of a lubricate, some GT85, and you've got old PTFE in there. So I'm going to make up myself a gasket, a brand new gasket to go against the actual head. I'll probably Honda bond this bit on here onto the new bit. The actual other valve for the AC I've deleted, so I don't know if that's actually going to affect the actual idle at all. Hopefully not. And I've wound out the actual idle control screw to fully out, lubed all this up and cleaned all this channel up as well, because it was quite dirty in there. So I've cleaned all that up and I've wound that all the way out, so the revs will be high when it's not on cold start, and they were too low at the moment. It's dropping below 500, so hopefully that'll bring it up, and then I'll be able to adjust it when the engine's warm. So like I say, I'm going to Honda bond this together, make myself a new paper gasket to go against the actual plenum, bolt it all back on, and fingers crossed that should have fixed it. Okay, so we're all secure now, we're back on. Like I say, the actual idle valve is all the way out, so we'll see if that makes a difference. What I'm going to do now, give the brakes a bit of a spray over with some brake cleaner, see if that makes a difference to the noise. Just have a general clean up. And then all I've got to do then is super glue that steering rack gaiter, put it all back together, give it a bit of a test, see if we're still getting that noise. like I say, because it's not being used so much, you're going to get parts which are going to start sticking and rusting and wearing away. It needs to be driven, so hopefully this will stop the grating noise, because I can't see actually anything else. There's no heat coming from the bearings. The gaiters are all fine. Needs a bit of a clean, I'll do that while I'm here. But it's generally all pretty good underneath. I'd like to get some of these parts powder coated, I think. I might even do that next winter. There's a new powder coating company open near me actually, so it might be worth popping along there and getting a few parts done in winter, just to tidy things up a little bit, give it a bit more longevity. I'd like to go for coilovers as well really, so I give it more of a balanced ride. So too much bounce. There's a lot of travel on this suspension. It is KYB shocks on SPAC springs, so they are pretty soft. Yeah, the ride's quite bumpy, but it's supposed to be a comfort ride, but there's a lot of travel. And this is the point here where it's actually hitting the tyre, so I might just trim that off a little bit as well while the wheel's off. I'll do the other side as well, just trim that off, see if I can stop it rubbing a little bit. Okay, so I think that's pretty much done. I'm going to give this a bit of a clean as well, the caliper, and we'll get a wheel clean inside while it's off, and then we'll do the other side, and then I'll do the glue on the gaiter. Bit of a test drive. Just put the window up. Still getting a little bit of a squeal from this wheel, I don't know if you can hear that. It's definitely the brakes, I think. Just probably not editing, so put my foot on. You can hear it change. The revs are still a little high. I did have to adjust the throttle cable just a little bit, just to give me some idle. See, I had no idle at all, it was just completely flat. Sounds fucking great though. Just turn around here. So what we're going to do, yes, got to be the brakes. I might have another look at it. The brakes work fine. Vacuum leak I had seems to have gone. So maybe it was the gasket on the actual AAC valve was not quite right. So instead of using that Honda bond, I might actually just make a proper gasket and whack that on. But I don't mind running the revs high for a couple of days just to go to a few shows and things, just some local stuff, and then I can fine tune it and tinker about with it over the next couple of weeks or so. It's gone now, that squeal. Put my foot on the brake, comes back. So the AAC valve, I'd love to just delete it completely and get a decent ECU. So if anybody's got any hints or tricks what ECUs are best to use on these, whether you can use Nistune and I think you can piggyback the standard ECU. So if I could delete all that completely, that'd be absolutely perfect. So I've got another plenum I could have welded up. So it's sitting nice now, about 1500 revs. Luckily the next show, or I say it's more of a classic car show meet, so it's not really this sort of car meet. It's only really local, so I haven't got too far to go. It's not that bearing, I bet it's probably wheel bearing. I'm gonna have to get some new wheel bearings then. Drive's lovely. Get it back in the garage and then we'll have another look. I reckon it's the wheel bearing that's shagged. So the brake's working fine. The revs are still too high. So the actual hub doesn't feel massively hot. The disc's hot, but then it would be if it's been thingy. But I just press the. I might just whip this off again and have another look. I shouldn't actually see if I've got any play in the actual hub, because then I'll be able to tell if the wheel bearing's knackered or not, in theory. So I think I'll jack it back up in the air. We'll have another look. So again, the wheel is up in the air. Is that going to focus? Yep. As you can see, it's all pretty wet. I think that might be copper grease though, but I've got a feeling this bearing's gone. So I'm going to see if I can get the hub off, see if I can grease it up a little bit. If not, it's going to be a case of new bearings, I think, but I'll see what I can do in the meantime. This, like I said, the local show's only it's less than a mile away, so I'm just going to go to that, I think. So I'm going to bodge this up for now, I'll take it to that show and get some bearings ordered, I think. If it is that, it seems to be, but I don't know, the brakes are all new. It's got a squeal, anti-squeal plate on this side, but not on this side. But I wouldn't have thought that would be causing that sort of noise all the time. So I'm going to leave this video here, and then I'll probably come pick it back up after the next show, or a little classic car meet, and then we'll probably have to do some new bearings on it, but I'll see. If you've liked this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.